All right, guys, how is everyone doing? Welcome to the 2024 January recap. We're going to do these to end the great 2024 year of the UFC. It's over. Every fight is officially in the can, and we're going to go month by month. We're going to kind of recap the shows, maybe talk about our favorite fight, best fight, maybe a moment that we didn't know was a moment until later in the year, and you see guys on winning streaks and future title shots, so on and so on. So let's get right into it, guys. January 2024. Let's go all the way back to January 13th, our first event of the year. There's only 2 events in January. Usually there's 3 or 4. January, there's only 2. The first event of the year was at the UFC Apex. I will say that a lot through this 12-part mini series I'm going to do. But this event was at the Apex. The main event was Magomed Ankalaev versus Johnny Walker in a rematch in the light heavyweight division. Pivotal fight, big fight, especially for Ankalaev. We saw he wins later on in the year. He is probably next for a title shot in 2025. So very big. So let's kind of run through that card. Not a major card, not a big card, not a lot of big moments from it, not a big major fight from it. But, hey, everything counts. Everything counts. Main event, Ankalaev versus Walker. Ankalaev wins that fight via second round knockout. Like I said, a very important win for Ankalaev. This is probably what we should take from this first card of the year. Also, kind of a couple other fun things. One, Jim Miller was on this card and wins. Always fun. Always to see probably the future UFC Hall of Famer on a card and winning. 2, Marcus McGee wins. This is he's 4-0 under the banner, and this was a major win for him. Him also getting a bonus on this night. But maybe the sneaky thing, and probably a thing that we'll talk about all through 2024, is Gene Silva wins. Gene Silva goes undefeated throughout the year, and the Fighting Nerds has the Gym of the Year, has their banner year, has their breakout year. But Gene Silva wins on this card. So shout out to the Fighting Nerds having a, kind of the breakthrough Gym of the Year. But for the Ankalaev Walker 2, Ankalaev is the guy. He's the one that the most momentum, the biggest one on this card goes to Magomed Ankalaev. All right, so that transitions us to the biggest card of the month, the card that we probably remember the most, the first pay-per-view of the year, UFC 297, January 20th from Toronto, Canada. The main event for the UFC Middleweight Championship, Sean Strickland versus Dricus du Plessis. And then the co-main event is another championship fight, Female Bantamweight World Championship on the line, Pennington versus Buna Silva. So there we go. There's the kind of the anchor of the month. The big card of the month was UFC 297. Sean Strickland, a ton of momentum, kind of busted through the scene in 2023. Starts off 2024 championship fight versus Dricus du Plessis. Dricus du Plessis keeps on winning. This is absolutely the biggest thing of what happened in January 2024. DDP defeats Sean Strickland to capture the UFC Middleweight Championship via split decision. Very close fight, very good fight. I'm kind of spoiler alert. This was the fight of the month. This was the best fight of the month. Very close fight, a lot of action through multiple rounds. Dricus du Plessis gets the nod, though. Wins the championship via split decision. I know a lot of people don't like that. They said you always have to beat the champ, stuff of that nature. Hey, he won the fight in those judges' eyes. Dricus du Plessis, the MVP of January, the most valuable fighter, if you want to say right. The biggest fight of the month was Dricus du Plessis. But let's get into the co-main event. Rocky Pennington captures that Bantamweight Championship. We'll talk about her later on the year. Also, a couple other good fights on that main card. Neil Magny with maybe not even the comeback of the month, maybe the comeback of the year. Mike Malott, ton of eyes and expectations were on him going into this year. Was winning, was dominating that fight, but Neil Magny came back to stop Mike Malott in that third round. So big shout out to Neil Magny. Chris Curtis also wins on that main card. And then the opener, probably to me the most underrated fight of this month, maybe one of the most underrated fights of the year. Movsar defeats Arnold Allen to start off that card. And Movsar, we will say his name later, and we will definitely say his name in 2025. Still undefeated under the UFC, still undefeated as a mixed martial artist. Movsar with one of the biggest wins of his career defeating Arnold Allen. Just a couple last things for you on that UFC 297. Jazz won, gets a bonus. Also, maybe the most important to us here in Fight Bananas, Jillian the Savage Robertson starts her 2024 in a big way. Second round TKO against Polyana Viana. Jillian Savage Robertson also gets a bonus on this night, and she starts our 3-0 year. To me, the female fighter of the year, Jillian the Savage Robertson. Bonuses, like I said, Jazz, Jillian, Dreykus, and Sean Strickland. So let's cap 2024 January. Ankalaev, the biggest win on that main card, sets up a big fight for him later in this year. Gene Silva kicks off the Fighting Nerds. Jillian the Savage Robertson kicks off her banner 2024. And the fight of the month, the fight that really encapsulates January, Dreykus Du Plessis defeats Sean Strickland to capture the UFC Middleweight Championship. All right, that was January. Only 2 events of the month, and we'll keep it rolling. I'll see you guys in February.